Go ahead and call this meeting to order, and we'll have a roll call, please.
Carr. Cruz.
Here.
Daniels.
Here.
Frost. Gaylord.
Here.
Guerra.
Here.
Hanson. Harris.
Here.
Kennedy.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Natoli.
Here.
Peters. Cerna.
Here.
Terry.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to the Pledge of Allegiance, which today we'll have led by Supervisor Kennedy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And with that, can we have the clerk do the television announcement?
This meeting of the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District is cablecast live without interruption on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast Consolidated Communications, and AT&T UVerse cable system. This meeting is being closed captioned and will be webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. Today's meeting will be repeated on Saturday, May 26th at 6 p.m. and Tuesday, May 29th at noon on Channel 14. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should fill out a speaker form located on the table at the back of the chambers and give it to the clerk. Please speak into the microphone when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Also at this time, please silence your cell phones until the conclusion of today's meeting.
Thank you. I know we have a member of the public that wanted to comment on an item that is coming before the board but won't be able to stay.
Yes.
So without objection, if it's okay, we'll go ahead and take that comment now. It's regarding the budget item. So if you'd read the speaker card, please.
We have Mr. Clark Witten of Burke.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Terry, members of the board. I'm Clark Witten with Burke, the Business Environmental Resource Center. As many of you know, the Air District many years ago in 1993 helped create Burke. We provide confidential and free assistance to businesses that, in this case, have air issues. We keep them compliant, and importantly, we keep them from getting upset and moving maybe to Nevada. So we're really kind of a business retention vehicle. I wanted to thank you for your support, your financial support since 1993. We've recently met with Alberto and staff to talk about our next contract, which is a 2-year contract, and we are in full support of that. We know there's some financial challenges with the Air District, and we're prepared to roll up our sleeves and deal with those realities. So I just wanted to say thank you. It's great working with staff, and if you have any questions, that's all I really had to say.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
So with that, we'll move on to the Air Pollution Control Officer's report.
Very well, thank you. Good morning, Chair and members of the board. Happy to be here with you today. We have a good meeting for you, but we promise we're not going to keep you as long as we did last time. I have 3 short items that I want to share with you. The first one is simply we want to make you aware of this important action. Last month, the EPA Administrator, Scott Pruitt, sent a letter to Governor Brown and every other governor in the country, and EPA share what we call the official designations for compliance with the most recent ozone ambient air quality standard. That standard was adopted back in 2015, and part of the process, which will eventually get us to have to develop a state implementation plan, a SIP, it starts with the designation of the air quality status, essentially for the various regions in the country. And that includes us. So again, what I wanted to do is simply to make you aware that the designation came out. No surprises, we're not in attainment of the standard. So this basically starts the clock for us, a very important clock, because over the next couple of years, we'll make sure that we come back to you and share with you what the game plan is going to be to try to get to attainment of this very most stringent and most current ozone standard. So again, I wanted to make you aware of that because even though it didn't make it to the news, what have you, but in your various capacities, you often get confronted with the question in terms of what the air quality for the region is. The standard is 70 ppb, 70. It was made more stringent from the previous one, which was 75. Today, roughly, we stand at about 84 ppb in terms of ozone concentrations in ambient air. So you can see that we have a little ways to go to get to this final 70. But we've made a lot of progress. 10 years ago, the ambient concentration of ozone in the region was 100 ppb. So this is about staying the course. Like I said, you will have plenty of opportunity to hear from us in the next 12 to 18 months in terms of what the game plan is. But I wanted to make you aware of this obviously very important announcement from EPA. And, you know, we're in good company. We're not alone. I think 51 other regions around the country got similar designations. No surprise. We're all struggling with advancing economically and at the same time advancing with public health and air quality. So that's the first point. So let me switch gears. Perhaps it is a bit of a better news story here. The other topic that I wanted to make you aware of is something that you should have seen in your emails from the clerk, and that is coming up June 5th, we're going to have a community discussion. And what we want to do is to present some of the funding opportunities that we have in the district. With your support, the support of other political leaders in the region, those that represent us at the state capitol, we have been somewhat successful, I would say, in terms of procuring funding that is going to be very, very, very beneficial to, most importantly, your constituents. The businesses in your communities, the long-standing collaborations that we have with the many players in the region that are helping us make progress in our quality. And you can see here, I will not go into any of the detail. Like I said, you have this in your inboxes. You're more than welcome to join us in any of the discussions that we are going to be having in the community. But again, I think it's a really good news story. This is really what is intended to happen with public funding, particularly the one that is generated from cap and trade. That we put that to very good use. We leverage the state funding with the limited local funding that we have. And then we go strategically to invest in cleaner technology so that, again, we can benefit public health and air quality. And you can see that we cover the gamut of different projects. We're going to be looking at cars and other light-duty projects. Transit, obviously, as a reason we work so closely with Sacramento RT. We have a lot of opportunities in the ag equipment sector. We have some exciting new innovation with car sharing and ride-hailing and some of those things. And of course, always pushing for lower emissions and when it makes sense, to invest in zero emissions as well. So again, I wanted to make you aware of. This is certainly something that you and us should all be very proud of. And the fight continues. We will continue to speak for the region so that in the next funding allocation for more cap and trade funds that we continue to do better for our region.
Mr. Chair. Just a quick question.
Anatoly?
Yeah, while this slides up. So under the farmer and the CAP program there, the Clean Air Protection Program, are those the amounts that are referenced in the consent items today?
Yes.
Or these are over and above? I didn't know if this is additive since you were going to have this workshop, or these the ones that...
These are the programs. These are the amounts.
These
Correct.
are the ones that are referenced
Correct.
in our agenda items.
Correct.
Okay. All right,
and for completeness, the consent item is a state requirement. The Air Resources Board asked us to make sure that we have a resolution approved by the board so that we can deploy the funding.
And those are, as you said, regional, because you've got Feather River, I think Yellow Solano, there's moving monies around depending upon, I guess, areas of need and where we might best direct those, I guess, within the region.
That is correct. As you know, we have a very strong partnership in the region with the other 4 districts that surround us. And when I say region, the 5 districts are working very closely together. More often than not, it is our district, Sacramento, that puts in place the project, simply because the fleets, the companies are domiciled in our district, and we have the infrastructure to help our districts in the region, and we do that very happily. We're doing as much as we can to develop a strong collaboration in the region.
But you do recover some costs of administration. I mean, that's referenced in the items as well, right? So for administering certain aspects of this, you'll receive offsetting funds for the administration?
That is correct, but that continues to be a top-line item for discussion.
Right.
Because, again, thanks for teeing up a very important point. When it comes to administration of the programs, when these programs get allocated to districts, the state limits how much of that funding goes to administration. And we believe that that needs to be corrected, if at all possible. But again, our districts are very good partners, and they understand that to run a program takes money.
Right.
So we appreciate their help.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
And the last note that I want to share with you, again, to end on a very positive note, and I'll keep it short and give an opportunity for Chair Terry to share his views, because he was an active participant. This is a very proud moment, because this board should be aware that the idea for this particular bike sharing program was born out of the district. And I think that shows you just the caliber and the commitment that the agency has in terms of the staff and the imagination and the commitment to what we're trying to accomplish in terms of our quality. Because obviously, we are a car-centric society, no question. But to the extent that we envision a future that is better in terms of clean air and lower carbon emissions, we have to start thinking about not just better transportation and better vehicles, but better mobility. And clearly, walking and biking fit right into that scenario. And in our region, we are very proud that we just rolled out the largest bike sharing program in the nation that is, I believe, going to be game-changing. So I'm very proud that this board, I cannot take any of the credit because you took this action right as I was getting here, but this board was very supportive, working with SACOG and the cities and some of the other partners in rollout of this particular program. So I don't know if Chair Terry wants to.
Well, I think we've got a handful of speakers, but yeah, I would just say it was a great rollout, a lot of fun. And those things can really hum when the battery's working. I think my first one wasn't working as well. But I know I've seen a handful of elected leaders, including Mayor Cabal, I think it set the record at 16 uses in a day or something on a Saturday this past weekend.
That's all?
Yeah, including riding with his tux up to whatever the other event was. Yeah, no, thanks to everyone that was involved. You couldn't have asked for better weather for kicking that off, too. But yeah, I have a handful of speakers here. Vice Chair Guerra, if you want to start, and then
Sure. No, I think we had a great kickoff at City Hall here, and I know we had folks all the way from Davis that rode in, and I mean, I think the excitement of how regional the start was an important thing. You had people from different areas of our county also participating in the event, but more importantly, since that day, the number of people who have never ridden around and used, say, car share or driven around downtown for meetings that I've talked to said, I saw them, I was curious, I tried it out, and the electric assist really got them hooked on it, because they didn't have to get sweaty before they went to their next meeting, and and then that's probably good for them and also good for whoever they're meeting.
It's a game changer for me.
It is, but I gotta. So it not only is it easy to use and whatnot, and even has a fancy little cup holder in there. The only thing that I would say after using it, I use it almost every day to go from City Hall to my other job back and forth. To save time and whatnot, is that they have a good pricing for the for low-income folks, but our service area is still very limited. It doesn't reach out far enough into the areas that are low-income to make sure that we can expand those. So I think, just like any entity that comes in, we need to make sure we push hard now early before complacency comes in, and let's not make this pilot become the status quo, and let's get those service boundaries even further so it encompasses regional libraries, some of the service areas like the county medical center as well. But overall, I think it was a great start. It showed leadership from this air quality board. And last night when people at a town hall were talking about congestion, I said, you should thank any cyclist who decides not to drive, because if you're just a 100% driver, getting somebody off the road is going to help you. But I know we had a lot of our board members here participate, and thanks for everyone working on this.
Director Harris?
Thank you, Chair. I led a bike ride over at McKinley Park, and we covered about 5 miles with 20 people along on the trip. It was an awful lot of fun. But you could see the mindset changing even in the first ride. I know since the rollout, I've been using it almost daily. I signed up for a monthly plan, right? So I get to ride it an hour a day for $1, which is a great thing. And quite frankly, it is a substantial mobility option. With the electric assist, you can go pretty far without a tremendous amount of effort. And, you're just whizzing by all those cars stopped in traffic. It's a pretty satisfying feeling, knowing that you're not polluting, but you're still getting where you need to go. And as Councilmember Guerra said, you're not breaking a sweat. So I think people will adopt this. I have great faith that people will understand that this is a good way to get around. So I look forward to success as we move into the future.
Maybe, thank you all for sharing those thoughts. Totally agree with everything you said. Maybe one last point I'll add to this conversation is it is indeed that this is the future, and when you have a company like this being part of a big name car-sharing company like Uber now, Uber recently took over Jump, you can only think about the potential and the prospects, right? When you have a major innovator, a major player in this space, where many things are still undecided. We still don't know how this is all going to shake out, but this is certainly a great indicator that good things are happening in the region. Again, this is something that this board should be very proud of, because had it not been for this board saying we're going to go in this direction, we would not be talking about this development. So that's all I have, Chair.
Okay. Any questions for the control officer? Okay. With that, we'll move on to our consent calendar items. Anything that needs to be pulled? Do we have any comment cards on the consent
No, we do
calendar?
not.
Okay. Anything anybody wishes to discuss?
I'll move consent.
I have a motion by Vice Chair Guerra.
Second.
A second by Director Harris. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Calendar carries. Move on to our first public hearing item, amend Rule 801, New Source Performance Standards, and Rule 904, Air Toxic Control Measures.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, Board. I'm Mark Lautzenheiser, Division Manager of the Program Coordination Division, which does include our rules program. Much like what we did in a prior rule, this is a fairly minor adjustment, so we did not prepare a presentation for you. What we are asking the Board to do today, though, is to conduct a public hearing, determine that the adoption of the amendments to Rule 801 and 904 are exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, and then after opening and closing the hearing, to adopt a resolution approving the amendments to these two rules. These two rules do not add any additional requirements to sources. 801 is applying to the federal New Source Performance Standards. 904 relates to state air toxic control measures. We periodically update these rules every 2 to 4 years as necessary based upon changes that have already been adopted at the state and federal level, and we simply work to codify them into our local rules and regulations to make it clearer and easier for our affected sources to know the impacts on them. And unless there are any questions, I would ask that the Board go ahead and open this for the public hearing.
So that'll open the public hearing. Do we have any public comment on this
No,
item?
we do not.
Any questions for staff? Seeing nothing,
I'll
close the public hearing.
And I'll move the
entertain a
item.
motion. I have a motion by Vice Chair Guerra. Sorry. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Abstentions? Okay. Item carries. We'll move on to FY 18-19 proposed budget. Jamil.
Good morning, Chair Terry and directors. My name is Jamil Moons. I'm the Administrative Services Division Manager for the district, and it is my pleasure this morning to present to you the FY 18-19 proposed budget and fee schedule. This is the second of 2 public hearings required for the adoption of our budget, and so today I'm going to make it brief since last month we had a little fuller discussion on the budget. I will spend a very brief moment recapping what we discussed at the last meeting, at the first public hearing. I'll share with you the revisions that we made to the budget document that you saw last month versus this month. They're very minor, but I do want to point those out to you. We will represent the budget and the fee schedule. There are no financial changes from what you saw last month. And then I would like to share with you the actual schedule that's in the resolution. And we adopt the budget by classification. And lastly, just to revisit some of the challenges we're facing in terms of balancing our expenditures with available funding. So last month we talked about the budget development process. It starts early in the year and culminates in today's meeting with the adoption of the budget, and that included a couple of meetings with the subcommittee of the board, both in February and in April with the Budget and Personnel Committee. We also shared with you that we are transitioning to a new financial system. We're very excited about that. That new financial system is much more robust in both its reporting and its ability to provide more information. It also is automating a lot of our internal business processes, so we're very excited about that. It also has implications on the budget. We have restructured our funds to some degree, we've renamed them, and we've added one new one, our debt service fund, just to track our payments for our administrative building. We shared with you the district initiatives and priorities for the coming year. I won't go over those because I think Director Ayala, I didn't mean director, I meant he's a doctor. Dr. Ayala shared with you earlier in the meeting today about our initiative to bring attention to the region and make sure that our needs are recognized as well as the attainment goals. And he shared with you some even challenges and new attainment goals that we will be working towards coming up. And then we shared with you the budget. We talked about the changes from last year to this year. We got into some detail on the different revenue streams we have, shared with you our expenditure trends, and then looked out into the future. And we showed that we are using some fund balance, and a fund balance that's not necessarily sustainable into the long term. So we are taking some action. We have a temporary pause that we're looking at very closely, our priorities and our staffing. We do have a hiring freeze in place to address some of those, and I'll revisit at the very end a little bit more on that. So the changes from the version that you saw in April to the version that was attached to your item today, given the new structure of the debt service fund, we did add some more tables in this budget related to that. We have a forecast table for that debt service fund and also the budget schedule. And it's an in and out. We transfer the money in from one of our other funds and we use that money to pay the bank to write down our principal and interest on the admin building that we work out of. On the general fund side, we revised the 5-year revenues graph. Historically, in the prior one, we just showed major revenues. In this version, we show all revenues, and we recategorize those so it's consistent over time with our new fund structures. And we added a new graph displaying our expenditures, so you can see the expenditure by category over our historical trending on that. On the transfers, it's a technical thing. We showed the in and outs on the transfer lines in our schedules. We summed those up, and no changes in financials, just a presentation of the budgets. We netted the transfers, is the technical term. And we updated some definitions in our glossary and in some of the narratives to just better clarify what we were describing in the budget document. Here is the proposed budget for our next fiscal year. It has in revenues 53.5 million planned to be recognized to come in, and in expenditures we're looking for 46.1 million in authorizations for requirements. There are no net changes in authorized positions. We are asking to fund one position to help with some of the recent requirements, particularly in the air monitoring area, but we are also offering up one position to go into the unfunded status. So on net, there are no changes to our funded authorized positions being requested. And last month, we also discussed more in detail about the fees, which allow for a CPI adjustment. The CPI index that we use, that's within the rule, is landed at 3.0, and so we are asking for that adjustment. The next slide takes that 46.1 million in requirements, and this is the schedule that's in the resolution that we look for from the board to adopt, and it breaks it down by classification. So we have authority within these buckets to be able to expend by fund. So those are the limitations that's applied against us when the board adopts the budget. Back to the challenges, we did talk about that. Some of the things that are leading to that is that our expenditures are outpacing some of our fixed revenue sources that come in. Our revenues, big buckets we have, don't have CPI indexes, don't have adjustment schedules to it, so we're getting a little bit out of kilter there. And some of the programs that we're implementing, very, very important programs, the administrative portion doesn't necessarily support, in many cases, the full cost of implementing that. So as Dr. Ayala had mentioned, we're upping our advocacy efforts. The staff is doing a great job going back to our grantors and having that conversation and seeing what we can't do. And they're also getting very creative and much more efficient in operations in terms of what kind of projects we go after and how can we better get these projects out the door for lower administrative costs. We're also implementing technology that should help in the long term once that's implemented and deployed in terms of helping the district become more efficient to address some of these challenges. At the end of the day, we're also exploring new revenue options and what it might take to be able to continue doing the good work that the district does. And we'll be in conversations with the board and the budget committee in particular to really flesh out some of these concepts as we go forward to meet these challenges. So with that, that concludes my presentations. At this time, I'd ask that the board open the public hearing on the proposed budget and fee schedule, and upon closing that, to adopt the resolution approving our budget and fee schedule for the next fiscal year. Thank you.
Thank you. So with that, I'll open the public hearing. Do we have any other public comment?
No.
Okay. Any questions for staff? I know this is, I think, the third bite at the apple for us. No? Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. I just want to make one comment that I appreciate all of the staff's efforts and the budget committee's efforts in the last few months in putting this all together and getting us to this point. And Dr. Ayala, thank you for all your work in presenting us with your first budget. And so with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move the item.
We got a motion from Director Serna, a second from Director Gaylor. No problem. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. So with that, we'll move on to our one remaining discussion item, which is the Spare the Air program. And I think we need to remind everybody they got a bunch of fun stuff.
You have your stuff, and the presentation is now pulling up. Good morning, Chair Terry and members of the board. My name is Lori Kobza. I'm in the communications office at the Air District. I am here to talk with you about our 2018 Spare the Air campaign and give you a little bit of information on that. The Spare the Air campaign has been going on since 1995 regionally. It has a dual purpose in life. Its role is to encourage driving reduction to achieve emission reductions and also to protect public health. We protect public health by providing the daily air quality forecast so that residents in all of our communities can know what they're breathing on a daily basis and also be aware when air pollution levels are on the rise. The Sac Metro Air District coordinates Spare the Air on behalf of the air districts throughout the Sacramento region, and that has been how the program has operated since it started. For ozone forecasting, before I get into that, we have transportation control measure that Spare the Air is identified as within the Sacramento region's ozone SIP. That's important. It was approved by SACOG as a TCM in the MTIP, and what that does, with SACOG approving it as a TCM, it gives us access to federal CMAQ funding, which is what provides funding for the Spare the Air program, and will now from 2019 through 2024. The district has MOUs with the other air districts, El Dorado, Placer, and Yolo Solano, for each of them to provide local match funding, along with the Sac Metro Air District, because we cannot get the federal money unless we provide a local match. Ozone forecasting is key to the program, because if you don't know what the ozone levels are, there's not much you can do or tell the public about. Sonoma Technology provides our daily regional ozone forecast, plus a separate daily forecast for each of the air districts. Spare the Air alerts are issued 1 day in advance when the air quality index, the AQI, is forecast to reach 126 or higher at any monitoring site throughout the region. That's important to note because it might be fine in Davis, but the highest reading might be expected in Cool or Folsom or Colfax, and all of the driving emissions that take place in Davis affect what ultimately happens upstream, if you will. So the forecast has always been regional for a Spare the Air alert. STI looks at air quality data, weather data, air quality models that this board has allowed us to have funding to provide for them, to provide for us excellent air quality forecasting. If needed, potential increase in NOx and particulate matter is looked at when we are expecting wildfire smoke, which, as you know, last year we had a lot of that. We're anticipating a pretty robust fire season, and so we're all on point and ready for that if it should happen. One of the things that's required with the Spare the Air program is an annual survey. And this is something that US EPA requires us to do in order to be a TCM in the state implementation plan. So having a survey of this nature is non-negotiable. We are unique in the United States in the type of surveying that we do, because we survey members of our community the day after a Spare the Air day, each Spare the Air day. In the last 2 years, there have been 17, so that's a lot of phone calling. And then we also conduct them on non-Spare the Air days or control days, which are days that are the exact same day of the week. The weather conditions are very, very similar, but for one reason or another, it's not a Spare the Air day. And that's how we have that efficiency and that control to really help us determine the effectiveness of the program. The Spare the Air survey is available online at sparetheair.com. All of the surveys going way back are there, so I encourage you, if you have any particular interest in the methodology or the results. This year's survey, or 2017's, is 62 pages long. It's full of great information, and you can go back year to year and check out how things have been happening. This is just one quick slide to give you an idea. In 2017, our general awareness levels were fairly good. We definitely have consistently seen with the program year after year that there is a difference between Spare the Air days and control days, and it is statistically significant. So what that demonstrates to us and to our partners and to SACOG and to US EPA is that the program is working. It's getting people's awareness, and you can't have any behavior change until you have awareness. So that's very important to us, and we're quite proud of that. I put this slide up here for you to just see a little bit of a trend from 2010 to 2017. You can see the highs in general awareness and then the highs in specific awareness. Specific awareness is those people who, during the survey, they identify that they know about the Spare the Air program and they know about the request to not drive on a Spare the Air day. In order to get what's called a purposeful reducer, which is where you actually get those real key emission reductions, those people have to also say that they didn't drive for air quality reasons. It's an extremely conservative survey, and that's why we and our survey team are very confident with the results that we get annually. In 2018 already, we've kicked off the mailing. We have close to 3,800 partners right now, and we continue to get more partners throughout the region every year. It's a very robust portion of our outreach. We have a tip card. I've provided that to you here. English, Spanish, Chinese, Hmong, and Russian. The app card that talks about our Sacramento Region Air Quality app is available in English and Spanish. There's a really cute bookmark, primarily for children. We distribute thousands and thousands of those, and this year it's English on one side and Spanish on the other. And then we also have a very fun kids activity book that is available to any of your constituents. So if you have anyone who's interested, I'm going to be telling you in just a moment how you can get them that info. The Sacramento Region Air Quality app has getting close to 17,000 users at this point. It's available in all app stores, including for the iPad. If you do want to use it on your iPad, you need to go into the App Store specifically for iPad and download that version, and then it should work and flip and flop and do whatever you wish to do. But that is something that we did at the suggestion of our board during the Check Before You Burn program to make it more accessible for people in the iPad community, and so that has been done. The regional app also kicks out spare the air alerts when we issue those and wildfire smoke advisories when they are required anywhere throughout the Sacramento region, because the app does provide air quality information for all of the counties, not just Sacramento. Audiences for this program continue to grow. We have commuters, we have sensitive groups, including children and the elderly, multicultural outreach, doctors, pharmacists, it runs the gamut. Any member of your community is a member of our audience to communicate with them about the Spare the Air program. We have programs created specifically for teachers, for home improvement stores throughout the region. They put up a poster about using green technology to reduce emissions when they're going in, someone's going in to purchase, a lawn care equipment at Home Depot, they'll see our information. We also are working with Dickey's Barbecue. We did a program with them last year where on a Spare the Air day, you could go in, say that you carpooled, and you got a big yellow cup and got to fill it up with your soda. And that was a promotion that they enjoyed, and we're looking to do that again in 2018. Another partnership I'd like to bring your attention to is the River Cats Road Relief Partnership that we've done for the last several years. We are part of Road Relief for the River Cats, encouraging people who go to games to carpool. And if you carpool, you get to park for free. So it's congestion management for them, it's air quality improvement for us. Later this afternoon, Selena, the clerk of the board, is going to be sending you a Spare the Air promotional toolkit. Similar to what we sent you for the Check Before You Burn program, you'll be receiving the Spare the Air toolkit that will have frequently asked questions in there, social media posts including images, newsletter articles that are already written, ready for you to just cut, paste, and distribute it to your constituents, to any newsletters or any organizations. We would appreciate you sending that out on our behalf. The other thing that's in that toolkit will be a link to our TV commercial, new for 2018, which I'll be showing here shortly. Social media is key to just about everything that we all do nowadays, and we can be found on Twitter at AQMD, Facebook, and Instagram. The social media also uses Spare the Air alerts and wildfire smoke advisory messages to, again, continue to get this word out to the public when it is needed. And now I'm going to go to my mouse here. Before I do click on this commercial, I'd like you to know I'm going to be showing it to you in English, but the commercial is also in Spanish. It has also been translated into Hmong, Russian, Filipino, Vietnamese, Mandarin, and those are being shown on Crossings TV, which is the multi-language programming that's offered here in the Sacramento area. So our TV commercial this year features a new character, and her name is Sophia. And with that, I know the audio is already up. I'm going to push it and let you enjoy.
Hi, I'm Sophia. Air pollution is a big issue. It causes health problems for many of us. It can make asthma worse, and more than 350,000 people in the region have asthma. Kids are at a greater risk because our lungs are still developing and we take more breaths per minute. Luckily, air quality is always monitored so we know when we have smoggy air. When you hear a Spare the Air alert, drive less, take transit or carpool. Consider an electric vehicle to spare the air every day. Clean air is up to us. Get the Sacramento Region Air Quality app today.
Without having an animated commercial, it gives us a lot more opportunity for advertising. So in addition to being aired on TV stations and on cable and on Univision for Spanish and on Crossings with the other languages I mentioned, it's also going to go as video ads, so we'll be able to use it in online and social media platforms as well. Spare the Air alerts, as I said, will be issued when we are forecasting a 126 anytime in the region. Last 2 years we've had 17. We're expecting about that this year. And there are Spare the Air alerts that are separate from that are more of a call to action requesting people not drive on a Spare the Air day. So with that, I'll close and wish you all a very good morning. And thank you for your support of the Spare the Air program over all the years.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for staff?
The only thing I was going to ask is the video available on, say, Facebook plugins or links? So
it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yes. So when you get the toolkit and you click on it, it's going to go right to the YouTube spot.
Okay, so we can just pull it from that?
Correct.
Okay, great. Good. And have we showed that to our school districts too, by chance?
You will be.
Good, thank you.
Or we will be. Once it gets presented to you today, this is kind of the unveiling. The television commercial itself won't start airing until the week of June 11th.
June 11th.
With our media buy. So we have a couple of weeks, so it'll be going out to you today, and then there's a whole outreach plan of where it's going to get distributed so that they can get it out there.
Fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. We're very excited about it.
All right. Any other questions for staff? Thank you very
All
much.
right, you're welcome. Thank you.
So with that, we're just humming along here. Any other public comment?
No.
Board ideas or comments?
I do have one comment before we conclude the hearing. I just wanted to publicly wish our colleague Eric Guerra a feliz cumpleaños today. Oh. It is his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. It's a...
I won't do what we do at my city council and make somebody sing to him. So
No. I'll pass on the singing, but since
that is what we do over in the show. But
but I will say that it's a great gift to have good air quality on the beginning of your birthday.
There you go.
Because we're at PMs today or what?
We're not a spare day there today.
Yeah, no, we're at 45 AQI today, so good.
Breathe deep. Go jogging. Dr. Daniels.
Thank you. I had the opportunity to go to the Pleasanton area on Saturday, and whenever I do that, I always like to either go or both come back through the Delta. And I hit the Antioch Bridge and looked over to my left, and it looked like Armageddon. The smoke was, from as far as you could see to as high as you could see, black, gray, white. And then as I come over the bridge and I head into the Delta, all of that smoke, because of the wind that day, was all blowing to the northwest area, and you probably couldn't see a mile. And I thought, here we are, spare the air, 46 million, non-attainment, and all of that, and some farmer somewhere or whatever is doing something that's probably producing more pollution that day than everybody in Sacramento County. So my point is to gripe a little bit and to say, what are we doing when we're spending 46 million here to do our thing and getting told we're not cutting it, but some guy over there is burning something that's just totally blowing it.
So what I can share with you is we have an organization of districts in the region, the Basin-wide Control Council, and Supervisor Nortoli sits in that board. And the purpose of that entity is so that the districts in the region get organized when ag burning needs to occur. And even though it does occur, and as you mentioned, it's quite impactful when you see that happening, there is a process, and we take great care to make it and allow it to happen when the conditions are adequate. And it's also controlled in terms of how much can you burn and when and all of that. But it is very impactful, as you said, and we do the best we can, and try to stay closely coordinated. We meet on a monthly basis. There's a technical advisory committee that I sit on. Again, Supervisor Nortoli is the official representative. So, we try to minimize the impact as much as we can, because it is well understood, as you said, that the impacts can often drift to other areas.
I did want to clarify too that all of that burning was done on the west side of the river, so it's not in Sacramento County. And what I didn't understand is, why were they allowing them to burn that day when, again, the wind was blowing so hard? And I don't mean that they should have to suffer their own consequences, but you would think that it should be done on a day when that's not happening, and it can go up in the air and come down more on them, because it's their burn. So sure. I don't know if there's a guideline on that, but it sure seems like there should, because I don't know how anybody in that south part of the Delta could have stayed there. I mean, just getting through the area, was bad enough, and then we finally made it out of that southern part. But I don't know how anybody could have stayed there, and then I don't know where it was going from there as it went northwest. So I don't know if seems like there should be a guideline when weather conditions, wind, is going to cause what it caused.
If I could, it may be that we want to reach out to Yellow Solano or to San Joaquin, or just because they burn tule marsh as well. It's not all agricultural burning. Some of those.
I think that's what it was too, because I thought it was weird.
That's
it was black
typically
and
in the Sassoon Marsh, not entirely, but and there are some prescriptions I think around that. But I know we can be impacted by that, and that may be some information you can bring back to the board just so we have some understanding. Obviously, with wind patterns, it allows for disbursement, but then it blows it our way to Brett's point.
Right.
So.
Well, we've run into that even last year in just to the west of us here, where a controlled burn got out of control, and the residents that are suffering the consequences of those kinds of mistakes are not Yolo County. There, it's us and El Dorado County, a lot of other folks. So it's been a topic of discussion, Director Daniels, for many years on this board.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. I don't think we have any announcements, so with that, we will stand adjourned.